discuss the important facts about climate change. First, what is climate change? Climate change is a long-term shift in the climate of a specific location, region, or planet. The shift is measured by changes in features associated with average weather, such as temperature, wind patterns, and precipitation. What most people don't know is that a change in the variability of a climate is considered climate change, even if average weather conditions remain the same.
Climate change occurs when the climate of a specific area or planet is altered between two different periods of time. This usually occurs when something changes the total amount of the sun's energy absorbed by the Earth's atmosphere and surface. It also happens when something changes the amount of heat energy from the Earth's surface and atmosphere that escapes the space over an extended period of time.
Such changes can involve both changes in average weather conditions and changes in how much the weather varies around these averages. The changes can be caused by natural processes like volcanic eruptions, variations in the sun's intensity, or very slow changes in ocean circulation or land surfaces which occur on extreme timescales of decades, centuries, or longer. But humans also cause climate to change by releasing greenhouse gases and aerosols into the atmosphere, by changing land surfaces, and by depleting the stratospheric ozone layer. Both natural and human factors that can cause climate change are called climate forcing, since they push or force the climate to shift to new values. Some people say that global warming is the wrong term, but why? Global warming as well as global cooling refers specifically to any change in the global average surface temperature. Global warming is often misunderstood to imply that the world will warm uniformly. In fact, an increase in average global temperature will also cause the circulation of the atmosphere to change, resulting in some areas of the world warming more, others less. Some areas can even cool. That's why global warming is a wrong term. Unfortunately, although it significantly misrepresents what really happens, the term global warming is still often used by media and others to describe climate change. What is greenhouse effect? A natural system known as the greenhouse effect regulates temperature on Earth. Just as glass in a greenhouse keeps heat in, our atmosphere traps the sun's heat near Earth's surface, primarily through heat-trapping properties of certain greenhouse gases. Earth is heated by sunlight. Most of the sun's energy passes through the atmosphere to warm the Earth's surface, oceans, and atmosphere. However, in order to keep the atmosphere's energy budget in balance, the warm Earth also emits heat energy back to space as infrared radiation. As this energy radiates upward, most is absorbed by clouds and molecules of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. This radiates the energy in all directions, some back towards the surface and some upward, where other molecules higher up can absorb the energy again. This process of absorption and re-emission is repeated until finally the energy does escape from the atmosphere to space. However, because much of the energy has been recycled downward, surface temperatures become much warmer than if the greenhouse gases were absent from the atmosphere. This natural process is known as the greenhouse effect. Without greenhouse gases, Earth's average temperature would be negative 19 degrees Celsius instead of 14 degrees Celsius or 33 degrees Celsius colder. But what are the greenhouse gases?
Kinds of greenhouse gases. Number 1. Water vapor. It is the most common greenhouse gas, but others that are very important too. Some occur naturally and some come from human activities. Number 2. Carbon dioxide or CO2. It is the most significant greenhouse gas released by human activities, mostly to the burning of fossil fuels. It is the main contributor to climate change. Number 3. Methane. It is produced when vegetation is burned, digested, or rotted with no oxygen present. Garbage dumps, rice paddies, and grazing cows and other livestock release lots of methane. Number 4. Nitrous oxide. It can be found naturally in the environment, but human activities are increasing the amounts. Nitrous oxide is released when chemical fertilizers and manure are used in agriculture. Number 5. Halocarbons. It is a family of chemicals that include chlorofluorocarbons or CFC and other human-made chemicals that contain chlorine and fluorine.
Since greenhouse gases make up such a small percentage of the atmosphere, why do changes in the concentration have a big effect on climate?
Most greenhouse gases are extremely effective at absorbing heat escaping from the earth and keeping it hot. In other words, it takes only small amounts of these gases to significantly change the properties of the atmosphere. 99% of the dry atmosphere consists of nitrogen and oxygen, which are relatively transparent to sunlight and infrared energy, and have little effect on the flow of the sunlight and heat energy through the air. By comparison, the atmospheric greenhouse gases that cause the Earth's natural greenhouse effect total less than 1% of the atmosphere. But that tiny amount increases the Earth's average surface temperature from negative 19 degrees Celsius to 14 degrees Celsius, a difference of about 33 degrees Celsius. A little bit of greenhouse gases goes a long way.
What causes climate change? For the past 10,000 years, the Earth has been in the warm interglacial phase of such a cycle. Other cycles are much shorter, with the shortest being the 11-year sunspot cycle. Other natural causes of climate change include variation in ocean currents, which can alter the distribution of heat and precipitation, and large eruptions of volcanoes, which can radically increase the concentration of atmospheric particles, blocking out more sunlight. Still, for thousands of years, the Earth's atmosphere has changed very little. The temperature and the balance of heat trapping greenhouse gases have remained just right for humans, animals, and plants to survive. But today, we're having problems keeping this balance. Because we burn fossil fuels to heat our homes, run our cars, produce electricity, and manufacture all sorts of products, we're adding more greenhouse gases to the atmosphere. By increasing the amount of these gases, we'll enhance the warming capability of the natural greenhouse effect. It's the human-induced enhanced greenhouse effect that causes environmental concerns because it has the potential to warm the planet at a rate that has never been experienced in human history.
So, this is real.
2.
An international scientific consensus has emerged that our world is getting warmer. Abundant data demonstrates that global climate was warmed during the past 150 years. The increase in temperature was not constant, but rather consisted of warming and cooling cycles of intervals of several decades. Nonetheless, the long-term trend is one of the net global warming. Corresponding with this warming, alpine glaciers have been retreating, sea levels have risen, and climatic zones are shifting. The 1980s and 1990s were the warmest decades on record. The 10 warmest years in the global meteorological history have all occurred in the past 15 years, and the 20th century has been warmest globally in the last 600 years.
What is being done all around the world? Increasing temperature will lead to changes in many aspects of the weather, such as wind patterns, amount of precipitation, and types and frequencies of severe weather events. Climate change could also affect health and well-being. Many larger cities could experience a significant rise in the numbers of very hot days. Temperatures could also cause respiratory problems such as asthma for some people. Harsh weather conditions such as heat wave and droughts could also happen more often and more severely. The world will continue to warm, but there are many variables that can affect the speed and magnitude of these changes. Taking action on climate change can also make our economy more intentionally competitive by creating growth and jobs while producing less waste, pollution, and greenhouse gases. Our climate may already be changing because of the existence buildup of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, and we must be prepared to adapt to these changes. Action involves taking action to minimize the negative impacts of climate change and taking advantage of new opportunities that may arise. Increasing our capacity to adapt reduces our vulnerability to the effects of climate change. However, we must start planning our adaptive responses now. By doing so, we may help to lessen some of the environmental, economic, and social cost of climate change.